Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a beautiful evening and a beautiful night today because why not? Okay, just saying hello to everybody. Today we are going to have another stream of making bloom effects, and hopefully we will finish with this today. Actually, I said I want to stream at the middle of the day today, but first I had to do some work, and that took a while, unfortunately longer than I expected. And after that, I had to participate in a trainer conference. That also took some time. And yeah, I'm really unhappy about how much time that took. And now I'm finally here. And I thought to myself, okay, let's not get this to you too hard because yeah, most of the day I couldn't be too productive. Now I have been working, so kind of productive, but not where I want to be. But let's just still keep going and make a short stream. It's just for the sake of the habit. Just keep going every day and make something every day. And sometimes this is what keeps you in your work. Just to keep going every day, even if it's not much. It's important that you keep to our habit to say, I'm going to work on this every day. And this is why I say, okay, let's go today and still try to be as productive as we can at the end of the day and not give up on this task. So what's the task? As I said, it's blooming. So we have our little setup here. Now we don't see that much. And last time we have finished the player attacks, the player abilities, so that they now can bloom very nice. We've also finished with the power-ups, and all that is left in this folder here is all the enemies. So enemies can spawn projectile attacks, they can spawn certain magic, and that is going to bloom also. So it's looking nice if things just blooming when attacks are spawned from certain enemies, and we are going to look into that. And try to make them look as good as possible. And this is really the task of today. And I'm not going to finish the stream until I finish this today. So this could take 3 hours or more. So if I want to be finishing the stream today, I really have to get going and keep my time track my time really efficiently. So first, I'm going through this prefab folder, and we have a lot of folders here that I just want to take a quick look if they are finished. So I said this folder here, this enemy folder, this is still not edited, and I'm going through here. So these are torch effects. We did this on Tuesday. They are finished. Then there map. There's a map folder. Let's see what's inside of that. Okay. Now there are some fireflies. They have glow. We still have to edit these minerals because yeah, that's going to be at the end of the stream or maybe tomorrow, depending on how long it took. If this tutorial pop up. Okay. I'm not sure if we ever use this. I think this is obsolete, but it doesn't have gloom anyway, so let's just ignore that. Let's drag in this tutorial pop-up. So in this level here, we have global light set to 09, so with the 008, so that we can see how the lightning is looking in the average setting. But normally the global lightning in each level will be just 01, and the main lightning will come from a point light that is attached to the camera. The downside of this is it's sometimes a little bit tedious to edit it, but it has I tested with the vignette effect and a light attached to the camera, if that's maybe better. The vignette effect on the camera did not perform as well in terms of aesthetics, so we are using this setup where we have a light attached to the camera, to the middle of the camera, which is really weird because I've never seen somebody do that, but it works very good and I think it looks good. And I don't have not have had any problems while testing. Okay, so let's go ahead. Enough explaining. And keep going in this tutorial pop-up. So this is a pop-up that you can that can appear in the game, and we want to see how it will look. So this is some kind of blooming effect. This is going to be spawned in, and let's set this to pre-warm. Actually. Yeah, so now we can see how it's looking when it has warmed up already. And then there's these beam particles. They are also not set to pre-warm. Set them to pre-warm. It's just pre-warming means try to emulate this as if this has already looped for a certain amount of time. If you don't enable pre-warm, it's going to look like this. Then it's starting. You see how it's spawning from nothing. If you set it to pre-warm and I say restart, you see that it tries to emulate that this has already been active for a while. Okay, so to play this realistically, we have to play both at the same time. And with this one, we don't want to bloom too much. So if you would bloom with this lightning here, the problem would be that you wouldn't be able to tell that this is a question mark. So the only thing that we can bloom with is a question mark sprite by itself. Is this one? Let's try to give it a blooming shader. Let's just try some random materials on it. See what happens. Ooh. Okay, that's very interesting to have the question mark move by a bit. Ooh, I didn't think about that one. Yeah, I've forgotten that we can do that actually. So what kind of options do we have with this shader? Because this would be nice to apply to the question mark and just have the tutorial question mark to move a little bit. Now the only thing I think is a little bit wonky about this is we cannot make it bloom. But on the other side, if we apply bloom to it, let's just if we just use some materials that have actually bloom, here you can see this is how the question mark would look if it blooms. I don't think that's good. Let's test this in a real lightning setting, like we would have it in the game. It's looking quite okay in the dark. But let's see what would happen when the camera comes closer. So this is also one of the things that is not as good with this method, with having point light attached to the camera, is I generally don't see exactly how things are going to look in the game. It's a little bit easier if you have a vignette effect on the camera, but even with the vignette effect, you still will have to position your view a little bit till you see how it will really look. And the camera will always be at -10. And we can see that the blooming question mark is not yet looking good. Maybe if we play with the setting of the bloom of the question mark, we can make it look good, I think. So let's just keep trying some materials on it. Won't cost us too much time. And we can also have this really bright blooming question mark. Interesting. You come close to it. Okay, this would be too bright. You can't really tell what's blooming there. Okay, I have to keep going because of the time. Yeah, but I actually think that's it is not going to work. It's not going to look very, very good with these materials here. Even though this looks nearly good, it's just not glowing in red. This would also be nice to have. Unfortunately, this option here would not be viable. The firefly, yeah, that's it. Let's sorry, we have to try the firefly material. Would be a nice idea here. So create a new material. Fireflies. Now what this question mark tutorial question mark. Let me explain later. Material firefly. Okay. Now the explanation why I want to use this material here is with this material I can apply some bloom to it. This is the main texture. Now I have to try to find this tutorial question mark. There it is. And apply it to the question mark here. Tutorial. Unfortunately, nothing did change, meaning that you might have to put more work into it. Ah, that's weird. Oh yes, this is set up to just have a white kind of particle and then apply some color to it. So, this is not working. Damn. I think it's multiplying the color with the original sprite. And the original sprite in the Firefly is just a white particle, which means that this is not going to work. So we could let's not waste any time. We could make a new shader graph here. Just for this one little question mark. Let's still try to make it generic. So let's see. I think it's in the universal rendering pipeline. I don't see it right now. Shader graph. Okay. URP. And this is going to be lit. Unlit is always without any always visible. No matter what kind of lightning you have. And lit is, it expects us to lit it with some kind of lightning. So what do we want to have inside of here? Exactly as the same as the Firefly shader graph. So let's maybe make these into a new window, because this window is way too small. We have to be able to see everything that we are doing. So what we want to do here is just to copy these, put them inside. And now we see all these floats are here that are not correctly set up. Unfortunately, we have to just delete them. Pick all of these floats here. And can we just copy it? No. Fortunately, we can't just copy it. We have to drag them in here. Now, fortunately, we did copy the values. So, and that's something that's going to make us work a little bit faster, because now we just have to put these values in here. There are values that we can set with the inspector now, and just drag them inside, put them into this graph, and then it will be set up. Unfortunately, we don't have too many options to prevent that. Though it would be nice to have the option to just say, let's automatically do that if we have a subgraph. I've tried out some different approaches to do that, but it didn't work out. So we have to rely on a method that is not optimal in my opinion, but we haven't found anything. If anybody has a tip how to make a subgraph be editable in another graph from the inspector without having to define the values of the subgraph again, please just tell me or say so in chat. It would be really nice to know how that is possible. Okay, so I also forgot something. Because I'm not coding today, I can play some music. Yeah, sometimes I'm forgetting about that because, yeah, I often code without music. Because often I find myself just being too distracted by the music. Now it's normal nowadays that you play music. And sometimes it just gives you some motivation. That's not bad. And sometimes it doesn't. So let's get going. What we want to do here is we want to see how this is looking. Now let me put in this tutorial question mark. Fortunately, we don't see anything here in the preview. That is because we haven't applied any base color. And we also need to apply an alpha mask. How do we do that? Yeah, I don't see any alpha mask right now. We do use this as the alpha mask. Ooh, okay, I think this is why it wasn't working out so well. Okay, what's the alpha mask? Come on. There has to be the correct alpha mask. Okay, here's the correct alpha mask. Has to be like this. Now we can see the question mark. We see it moving around a little bit. And don't ignore that the question mark is moving right now. We will apply this, we will change the values later in the game. Okay, now we want to have this multiplication. We want to multiply the color that we set here with the base color So now if we multiply this, should make it bloom. Yeah, we can make it bloom now. Unfortunately, we don't have enough control about what we want to bloom. It's just a flat multiplication. Oof, and I have a good idea how we could do this in my head. Just calculated it, but it's going to be complicated. Okay. So we want to let's put this out, plug this out, and okay, now it's multiplying with 0. Let's multiply this with 1. This is the question mark, and let us say we want this question mark to bloom, but we want to not let it bloom everywhere. We want to let the bright parts of it bloom, like this part here, these parts more, but we also want that the darker parts of these don't bloom, so we see some kind of color in there. How can we do that? And we will also want that the original sprite is visible. So first, let's make sure that in the end we add the base color. Oh, that's the alpha mask. That's not the color. We add the base color. Now we should still see the question mark. Yeah, that's correct. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we only affect those white parts here, the bright parts, sorry, and every other part is going not to bloom. How can we do this? That's quite easy. We just have to take the base color and make a subtraction, and basically go into Paint and try to explain this. Imagine this is a matrix. This is a matrix, and let's just look at the R values, the red values. So this is going to have different values from 1 to 0. And one is some parts are 0.2, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.8, 0.7. Okay, different values here in there. So what are these values telling? 1 is very bright red, 0 is dark. And everything in between, 0.2 a little bit of red, 0.8 a lot of red. Yeah, a lot of red, less red. This is, for example, this dark part would be 0.2, this would be 0.8, and we only want the values, the bright, to affect the bright values. So what we are going to do is, if we just subtract minus 0.8, every value here is going to be minus 0.8. Every value that is lower than 0.8 is going to be a minus value. So let's do this. Let's just say now 1 is going to be 0.2, 0 is going to be 0.8, and so on. Yeah, we subtract 0.8. Then the next step, we don't want to work with with everything that is lower than 0. So we want to clamp this. So we want to say we only want the values from 0 to 1. this will filter out every value that is below 0, and it will be set to 0. So this will now be still 0, 2, but this will be 0 then. And after that we can just add a 0, 8 again. And what we will have now is a mask where this is 1, 0, 8 will, and everything that is below 0, 8. Now unfortunately there's no value under over 0, 8 here. So let's say this is 0, 8, 1. So this would now be 0.81 again. And everything else is 0. And this is how we can do this to filter out all the bright parts. Now all the dark parts will be set to 0, and if we then multiply only these values, we can make sure that we are only affecting these areas of the picture. Okay, so this is a small plan. Let's apply this. So the first one is the subtraction. We're going to take the base color here. Let's just go ahead and delete all this except for the color node. And the first thing is going to be subtract. We need a float. And say brightest color cap, and we will just subtract it. For example, 0.8. Let's create a preview here to see what this is going to look like. Unfortunately, can't see it as a quad, so we don't see anything in here. It's a little bit unfortunate. But if we change this value, should quite see something. Yeah, we can see something. Yeah, so we see that it's working. Can play around with the values later. Now, the next thing that we want to do is create a node. We want to clamp this, as I said. Now let's just get rid of all the values below 0. And then we want to create a new node that is going to say add this the value, the brightest color cap, again. Right, then every value that is 0 is going to be the brightest color cap. That's not correct. So I made a mathematical error. We cannot just add 0.8 to the whole graph. We only want to add 0.8 to the parts where the value is higher than 0. So we can multiply this. We have to do a multiplication or it won't work. So what we put into this multiplication is 0.8 times the matrix. Can we do this? I don't know. No. No, that would still make it not work. So how do we do this? If it's... We have to I think it's best with the multiplication. Because if you multiply by 0, it will always stay 0. Okay. But then again, if we multiply 0.2 with 0.8, it's not going to be 1. So we want 0.2 to become 1 again and 0 to be 0. Cannot just add 0 to 0.8. Ah, I got it. We don't do this. We put this into, I think it's max value. No. We multiply this with this graph. Multiply. No, also not true. This is not getting us anywhere. I got an idea. Okay, that easy cheat. We then multiply this with a ridiculously high value. Multiply this with basically infinity. Now this is going to, we are just going to put 99999999999 inside of this, multiply. Now this value will become infinitely big. 0, 0, 0, 0. And then we compare those two graphs with the min node. The min is going to put out the minimum value, always the smaller value. We do this with the original matrix, multiply it with our mask matrix, and we will always get the value that is smaller. Now 0 is always going to be smaller than the values that we don't want to use, and infinity is always going to be bigger than a value between 0 and 1. And this is how we can filter out which parts we want to affect and which one not. This will then be 0, 1, 0, 0, 0. This will be 0.81. Oh, I'm trying to draw with my mouse. It's going to look terrible, but now we have done a lot of math. Okay, so I'm going to put this to my second screen. Just toss a plan. Okay, we have clamped this value. Yeah. Now we have Now every value that we don't want to affect is 0. Every other value is going to have 0.2 or something else, and then multiply this with basically infinity. Let's just create a float node and put in the highest value that we can insert here 99999. Yeah. So it's saying 1e times something, just saying, okay, this is a really high value. And now we want to just create the menu, put in this, put in that, and we don't see anything here. Let's see what happens if we put this as a base color. Okay, it's all dark. That's unfortunate. So something's not working yet. What happens if we put this to a low value? High value? Something didn't work out. So where's the error? Let's put this to 0.5 first. So we can see in here there's still color information, but after clamping the information seems to be lost. Oh no, it's just the clamp node. The clamp node sometimes is a little bit buggy. Yeah, this is bullshit. Because the thing is, we didn't see anything because the node did not update. So we couldn't see what we are actually doing. That's yeah, that's quite yeah, that's bullshit. So if I say so you can see now this is some kind of mask where we can just say, okay, we want to affect these values here with this brightness. If I say only the brightest parts, it's only filtering out the brightest parts. I put this to 0.8. You see, only some of the parts are 0.8. Okay, it's not working. 0.8. You see that there's only some dots that have this value. I put this to 0.2. It should be a lot more. Yeah, you can now with this 0.2 you see only the darkest parts are black here. So with this we can control which brightness we want to affect. And then we're going to say what do we want to do with this mask here. This is the part that we want to bloom, and the rest should be unaffected. So let's go ahead and try to find a good value for this. I think 0.4 look quite nice, or 0.6. Where is it? Here. 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. Okay, I think 0.6, 0.55. I think 0.55 is somewhere where we have some nice parts here. Fortunately, the dark parts here won't bloom, so it's questionable. It's a little bit of a question. This question mark is a good shader for that. Fortunately, it has some kind of fade on it, and the parts down here are darker, which is a little bit it's not nice. So yeah, maybe the main shader here is not nice to work with at all. Because if we put this to a lower value, the whole upper part will bloom. So the last part that we want to do now is we want to multiply the color and say this is the bloom strength. And this is basically the same as if we would put in HDR. Just gives us a little bit of control how much we want to bloom. And now we want to put this and add it. Now multiply this with this minimum. Why do we want to multiply this? That's quite easy, because if we just flat out add it, if we would just add it, it would make the dark parts also be affected by bloom. And in our case, we don't want that. Or do we? Or do we? Actually, we want to make the dark parts bloom. Let's just try it out. Let's just now this is just artistic. Now this is not going to be mathematical. Now you can see here that now I made the bright parts even brighter. If I would not add these two together, let's see what happens to the question mark. Now the bright parts are in their normal shader. If I multiply them, if I add our bloom to it, you now can see that the upper part is blooming. So let's see what happens if this is not a multiplication node, but an add node. Okay, then it will make everything orange. And we would have to make this bloom color. Which should actually be this particle color, not some random color. We would make this whole question mark bloom in one single color. Can maybe put down the intensity, make it red only. So how do we filter out that the black parts will not bloom? We could multiply this in the end. Well, this is very risky, but let's see what happens if we multiply this in the end. So this is a one-time use shader, unfortunately, because it's very specific for this specific texture. So now the black parts will still be black, and if we increase the HDR in our red, we will at least affect the whole question mark, which is a little bit better than what we previously had. Let's go ahead, save this asset, and don't need the animator right now. And now we have this shader graph. Let's make a new material for our question mark. Not to say, this was a little bit time consuming and a little bit overkill, but for just one particle. But this particle here, this question mark, is visible in the first 5 minutes in the game, and the rule is, if it's visible inside of the first 5 minutes of the game, it's worth editing as much as we can. It's just a generic rule that we have here. But I said, yeah, let's just say, if it's visible inside the first 5 minutes, it's always make sure that it's as polished as it can be, and not not spare any time. With this influence mask here, it's going to apply a YL value. What it's basically doing is it's anchoring the question mark. So now you can see the question mark is anchored around the bottom part and shifting in this direction instead of shifting the whole question mark, which is quite nice to see. Can make it shift faster. Can also overdo it a little bit. Okay, let's not overdo it too much though. Basically want that it's kind of just moving a little bit, like question. Just have to make this, find a value where it's not too much. Just like you see, okay, this is not just a sprite, it's looking nice in some kind of way. Because just having a question mark sprite in the game, you know what it is. You know, okay, this is going to be a tutorial message. But it feels a little cheap to just have this to be a sprite only. Let's just apply a wind influence mask so that the player doesn't know what's going on with this question mark, why it's why this is wiggling around. Like this. Okay, now we can try to change the bloom. You can see I can make this bloom very much. Fortunately, I'm still applying this to this red parts, so that to the dark parts. So that means that in the dark parts there seems to be no, it's not the dark parts. The bloom is so strong that it's over the dark parts right now, so we cannot overdo this. To be honest, I think we are not going anywhere with this setting. Okay, I've got one last thing to change here, and that is we're going to add this multiplication with the base color. So in the end, I want this to still, and this will be very bright in the preview. I just want that the brightest parts of the question mark are now very bright, but I want the unaffected parts to have their original color. So now we can at least make sure that it's not going to look too static. Okay. Now I don't think we haven't done too much with the bloom here. Bloom doesn't work with this sprite, unfortunately, too well. But we made this improve the quality of this sprite quite a bit. Let's apply these changes to the prefab by applying the overrides. And yeah, as I said, it's sometimes you have to make some cuts and say, okay, you can't have, it's like a triangle, you can't have dark parts being dark, the bloom everywhere, and have it have some kind of shade everywhere, even in the blooming parts. Going to overlap somewhere. If you have strong bloom, you will always delete the small little details, like in between here. We are deleting some details because this is now just blooming in a very bright red, and we can't have at the same time have the dark parts or have their original color. And it's like a triangle, and you have to make some cuts there and decide what you actually want to do there. Except if you want to spend all the day on this question mark, yeah, then we could do it. I'm still convinced that if we would spend more time on this, we could try to filter out a little bit more of the bright parts and maybe do more math there to make sure that we have a nice pattern of bloom. But I think we are at the limit of the time of a good time efficiency. So let's go on. Okay, so this tutorial pop up finished. That's going to do this later. We are just going to apply lightning. But point lights to the crystals. They already have bloom, so nothing to do here. UI, don't touch it. I don't want blooming UI. We have some objects. This is if you destroy a barrel, it's not going to bloom. This is stone. This stone is not going to bloom. This is some. The hell is this used? I don't know where this is used. It says Strahleffekt. Let's rename this first. Beam effect. And let's see where this is used. There is a prefab here. It might use it. No. Just renaming them. Oh, I can. The naming convention was bad. if this is something that is spawned by the Nosferatu, it's in the wrong folder basically. So the beam effect. I think this one. Let's rename this to beam effect 1 again, and put it in a folder that is matching, because this is not an object. So this is having a German name. It's wrong. Just as a kind of rule, I want to get rid of all German in the prefab folder. Not in every folder, because it will take too much time if I start editing the names of every animation. Because there's hundreds of them. Just the prefabs. The prefabs are the things that I use. Most of the time. So we at least want to have these in English. There's no reason why they should be in German. There's no good reason for them to be in German. So I'm going to through them. Okay. Oh, let's go on. And we are seeing that one of the object folder did have this beam effect that actually belongs into the enemy folder, and this is going to be a boss fight object. So let's create one new folder here for the Nosferatu. And having these enemies being sorted in here just helps a little bit with the order. So let's try to find the effects of the Nosferatu. So this jump effect belongs to the player. Let's also open this jump effect. This is not blooming. Let's just apply some random bloom to it. Just for the lulz. think it would be like this. If you would jump, you would have these, you would spawn these kind of blooming effect here. Not sure if this looks good. Let's just apply this and test it out. Maybe this is too much, maybe not. I don't know. It's a little bit weird that the jump is blooming. It's a little bit weird, but at least it's noticeable. It'd also be nice if this would be behind the map. So let's change the render right here and make sure this is not in the foreground, but in the background, but really high in the order. Let's see what happens. Okay, unique crashes. That's nice. Random crashes. Now we shouldn't have lost too much information here. Just changed the background layer. Except for that, nothing should have changed. Just have to wait for the editor to crash now. Can you please crash? Can you please finish crashing? Something that I normally don't say. But yeah. Close this. No, I don't want to report a bug. I just want to work, please. I'm not too keen to report bugs. I'm not an employee of Unity, so if I would get paid, yeah, maybe I would report every bug that I find. If you get, imagine you would get paid for bug reports. That would be nice. And this would really increase the chance that I would report the bug. And I would also not lie to them, but I guess there's also people that would just report every time Unity crashes and just put in some random report there or say it crashed. which would be also true in my case. I couldn't say that there was some specific event that made it crash. It just crashed. Go to this jump effect again. And as I said, put this to the background. Oh, it's still in the background. I have edited the prefab. So let's just hope that it doesn't crash again. Yep. And now the jump effect will be behind the map. I think this is just looking a little bit nicer. You also could make this have collision, but this could add up very fast to have a lot of effect on the resources. On the other way, how many particles do we spawn here? 30. That's not that much. So we can add collision to them. Say we want to collide with nothing but the ground. We also want to collide with the ground. Maybe objects. Objects are okay. And let's apply this. and see what happens, if this is going to look good or not. Can't tell a difference so far. What if we make it bounce harder? Bounce is 1, dampen is 0, lifetime loss is also 0, so that's quite okay. Let's maybe change the shape then. Okay, so right now it's emitting in every direction. It's only emit to the bottom. So what is this going to do? They are going to be spawned to the bottom, and they're going to bounce immediately, and hopefully this will create some kind of nice effect. So right now, oh, it's a cone. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Want this to be a circle. You can see it's going to emit to every direction, but I can actually change the arc. Let's change it to 180 degrees. Unfortunately, we don't see it. Okay, now it's only spawning to the top. Want exactly the opposite. So we want to rotate this by 180 degrees. Now it will only spawn to the bottom. Let's hope that these particles will now bounce. Let's actually change the position. So that it bounces nicely with the environment. Let's see how it bounces. We just have the illusion that we are jumping here. Yeah. No, it's just looking weird right now. So right now it's just looking weird. It's working, but it's looking weird for some weird reason. Let's put in this jump effect right here. And we see what's happening here. You see they are being spawned in and just bouncing around immediately. That's correct. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can't put this to... I put this to 0.2. Yes. So we see the position they are spawned in. We have to first correct the position. So they are just spawned in right on top of the surface. Like this. And we want to apply more randomness. Yeah, that's better. Okay, only randomized position, direction. Kind of a weird method that we are using here, but it seems to work. Can also increase the spread here, decrease it. Okay, let's put the spread to 0 because it doesn't seem to change anything, and putting it to 0 will then not use any resources for any calculation. I think it's only an if clause that we jump there, but just do it correctly, just for trying to save as many resources as you can. As you always want to do. So if there's no reason to actually use resources, you shouldn't use it. If there's no reason why you use it, you should use it. Yeah, you shouldn't use it. It doesn't make a difference. Okay, now it's looking too random. Okay. And last thing, as I said, it's looking too random now. You can play with this value here, randomized direction. So it looks less random. We put this to 0 here. Then we can see this is too mathematical. You can see, okay, this is just some kind of function that somebody put in there. So if we put this to 0, 1, for example, yeah, it should be 0, 2. It's going to spread more and more. Let's put it to 0, 3. And I think 0, 3 seems to be quite okay. 0, 4. I think 0, 4 looks nice. Also, these are felt values. There's no right thing to do. There's no right method to do this. So this is also why making all these particle systems is always going to take long. Okay, so I'm convinced that we are this is the right direction that we are heading right in. Let's also decrease lifetime by a fraction. Let's put it to 0, 3. And let's change the emission to be 0, just burst 30 particles at the start. Okay, apply these changes. And let's keep testing it. As I said, this is also a jump effect, something that you will see again and again in the game. So this has to be polished. Now, unfortunately, I often cast with the player the start of the game. Okay, now let's keep talking about the jump effect first. I think this is nice. You can see where he jumped. It's visible. It's not too much. It's nice to have. It's not too much. It looks correct. Has a little bit of bloom. Has collision. Sometimes you see them collide. Not all the time, but sometimes you see these particles collide and see them collide here at the edge. You can barely notice it with your eye. They collide with the ground there. You could stop the collision, but it's not going to look the same. Okay. So I'm satisfied for now. I'm satisfied for now with the jump effect. So let's delete this from the level. And the last thing that we want to do, we want to find which material we are using here. This is this material. We want to copy its values. Make our new shader, because as I said, this is an effect that is going to be played hundreds of times in the game. And this can mean that we are going to later say, oh, we tested this, it's not looking just quite as we imagined it to look later. And this is why we want to have a material if you ever want to edit this, so we can just without any hesitation make changes to it later, even though we are just copying the values of another shader graph right now. As I said, this is going to make us less hesitant later to edit this material. It's just we have to make sure we are lazy. We don't want to edit every time we want to edit something, to click around too much and that something is happening, and make new materials every time we want to edit something, click in every crawler. We want the prefix to be set up, and then when we want to change them, we want to do this in a really cost-efficient, timely manner. This is why spending as much time as possible, no, that's not correct, spending a little bit more time here to set it up correctly is going to enhance our ability to change things later and make this on the fly without any other problems. Just something that I learned in game when I'm doing game development. Trying to be fast at the start means that you will be slow at the end. So trying to do things right and being slow at the start means that you are going to be faster in the end. And in the end, the last days on a project, you know it, you're going to be in your crunching down your project, and then you need to be fast. Then you don't have a choice. And this is why I always say, hey, in the end, you want to just grind down, make our art, put it in the game, make little changes in your game, balance it out. Then if you then see that you still need to recode huge parts of the game, you're not going to make it in time. You're not going to make it. You can then you can forget your little project right there. It's not going to work. Okay, so we are going through the enemies right now. And this is a bat. This is a bat, and it has red glowing eyes. This. And we want to change these eyes. Do they spawn in different particles? Yes, they actually spawn different amount of particles. What the? Okay, we have to first fix that these two eyes are glowing differently. Something really weird there. Want to try some shiny part. Let's try out different particles for this eye here. So this should definitely use some kind of variation of the shiny particle. Oh, noisy? No, not this noisy one. No. Hell no. Also not sparks. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit stupid. Trying out materials that are definitely not going to work. Little hearts. Little red hearts. Yes, of course. That is it. Are there any materials in there that make any sense? Yes, there are. This one. This is the one that I want actually to try. Okay, let's put it into the game. And let's see how it looks. I don't see the bed. There the bed is. And what we see is that we can't see the white eye right now. The white eye is the eye that is using our bloom effect on the eye. It's also a very small effect. So making this bloom is quite risky. Why is it risky to make the eyes bloom? The eyes are so small that if they bloom, they will obfuscate a lot of the bed. And this is why we have to be careful right here. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and make a new material very fast. Open this asset. Pick these two eyes. And we want to make a new material. This will be the bed eye glow material. And having that many materials might seem counterproductive to how fast I want to make this game. But it doesn't cost this much time. Once you set up a shader graph, it's not that big of a deal. Put the material in here. We start the effect. Now we can just try to change the eye glow. Here we can see we can change how much of the eye is actually glowing. And we can change how much it is glowing. Actually we can, but glow is not that strong, at least in the preview. Now we have to test this in the real 2D world, because it's going to look different in here. Yeah, and I would say it's not looking nice. The eyes are so small. I think that it is never going to look good with the shiny material right here. Go ahead and make the eyes glow. You can see the eyes are glowing, but if we zoom in, yeah, it's looking nice. But if we zoom out, this is how it's going to look in the game. That's barely noticeable. We have to pick another material, because the shiny particle that is there, it's a nice particle, but it's the shiny part of it is glowing, and the shiny part is extremely small. So the player is not going to notice this. Yeah. So let's just call there's a soft particle, for example, and you immediately can see some kind of change in there. And let's make it glow a little bit less even. And now you should be able to see this particle glow in the game. Yeah, you can see there's some glow in the eyes of this bed. I think it's still too much. Looks too big. Yeah, it's too big. Now we have to try to hit the right scale of the bloom. Maybe like this. Just hitting these nice little edges of a graph where the effect is actually looking nice. Just like this. Now it's a little bit brighter than it has been before, and it's not too big. Okay, let's also change the mode here and enable the actual lightning, which, as I said, is some kind of fake vignette effect. This is the actual look inside of the game. You can see now. You can see the bat in the dark. How its eyes are actually glowing there. See it in the dark. You can just see the eyes, and this is much better than what we had before. We cannot. What we could not do is apply lights to its eyes. It would also be noticeable, but having lights to the eyes, it's very different from its performance. First, it's going to cost more performance, and you have a lot of bats in the game, and also it might be too big. It's really hard to make lightning to the eyes work really well. Speaking of which, the next enemy that we are going to edit, we're going to edit out this bat. You can also put out the light here. The next enemy that we want to add is I think this flying skull. Let me go through the enemies first. I think there's not many enemies. Okay, we have to edit the dragon. Not sure about the werewolf. Does the werewolf have glowing eyes? No. Not yet. Not yet, but the werewolf is a special case. We will have to spend some time on him later. He's not a priority right now. So which one first? Let's go ahead and edit the flying skull first. Put in the lightning here. We can see he has glowing eyes in the dark, but it's not that strong. So what we can do with him is actually trying to make his eyes glowing in the dark. Right now the eyes of him are just 2 point lights. So let's go ahead, open his prefab. Call these this is his left eye. His left eye, not the left eye from our position. This one is his right eye. So we are not saying the right eye that we see. We are trying when you're going for anatomy. You either do the convention. You're going to make it from your position, what you're looking from, which works in 2D. But in general, you say right eye, his right eye, or left eye in anatomy. In general. It's in biology, medicine, and also in 3D modeling. You don't say this is his right eye because it's on my right. And in reality, it's his left eye, and then you're going to wonder what the hell is now his right, left, and right, from which position. So we are always saying left and right from his position. Nonetheless, I want to add whites to his eye. A sprite render. And we just want a particle that glows red. And what do we want to do here? Is we want to actually have this test particle as his eye is going to be units. It has to be higher than his the order and layer has to be higher than him. I'm going to make this a child because we need to scale it down. Copy, remove, sprite, and add the particle here, the sprite here. Scale it down so it has the same size as his eye, approximately. Yeah, like this. Now my two ideas would be either to use this particle and make the black parts glow, or we use just the soft particle like this and make this glow red, which I have an idea. So let's use two sprites. Can we put in two renderers? No. So one in the front, which is going to be just white, and one in the back, which is going to be double its size, but it's going to be red. Now you can see this is red, and now let's make the particle in the back glow. And I can just try some materials here before we make a new material. And I'm searching too long right now. We can make this glow. Okay, we have to look into the game here. Okay, and the glow is going to overlap. So we have to make both of them glow, unfortunately. This is interesting. So we want the middle part to glow in white and the outer part to glow in red. So let's just go ahead and make two materials. I think just trying some default materials here for experimentation. It's not going to save us too much time. So we want to name this material. Flying Skull Inner Eye Material. Should be shader graph generic bloom shader. We want the inner eye to bloom in white. And the very soft test particle here. This will be applied to the inner eye. And then we want to copy the material properties, make a new material. This one is going to be the outer eye. And then we will just insert the values of the inner eye. This one should bloom in red. So let's apply these material to the prefab. Also make sure we use these sprites as well for the left eye, but in the 0, 0 position. We can see that the left eye doesn't seem to be quite at the correct position. It should be right here, I guess. This one seems to be quite a little bit like here. Later, and now we can experiment with these two eyes here. I still have to go into skull again. And now let's apply these materials. So now this should be the inner part. This should be the outer part. And now we can try to make, for example, the white blue bloom harder. Unfortunately, seems like I haven't selected the white eye correctly. Yeah, I think what happened here, only applied the material to one side instead of both sides at once. Okay, now it should be correct. I have to revert this. Okay, now it seems to be right. Then you can see his eyes are glowing in the dark. That's nice. Now we can just play around with the values until we say, okay, that's nice. You can see this is just more spooky, and you can make them go really like over the top, like this, for example, Terminator style. Why not? Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is change the size of the inner part. Now I think it was quite okay. Yeah, I think this is some... I just think this is spooky. We can play around the strength a little bit. This is not going to make too much of a difference. Let's just hit play and see how the skull is looking from the distance. Now you can see how the eyes of the skull are glowing in the dark, which is quite nice. It's making him look just a little bit more scary. Because he but he's also very easy to touch. If you have anything in his path between you and him, it's going to be quite hard for him to attack you. But in open areas, this skull is a really terrible enemy because you generally have problems fighting the skulls. This is why I really like this, to have this kind of enemy variety. So let's go to the next enemy, which is going to be the dragon. And the dragon, he just has some flames which are coming out of his mouth. And to see the dragon, we're going to go to his boss level. We're not editing him in the test level. It's might be a little bit tedious. In the his actual level, we can see how he's actually looking. Much faster, which will make it easier to edit him. Okay, here's the dragon in the game. And the only thing that I want to change with him is he has some particle emitters somewhere inside of his system. Just need to find it. There should be a particle system right here. Fortunately, I can't find it with just clicking. There it is. See, here's some flames just coming out of his mouth. And let's go ahead and apply the torch material. So let's try to look at it in the lightning, and you immediately see that this is making much more of a scene. Let's try to look how this is going to look in the game. It immediately just looks so much better.
Looks like we have a little vampire here. Are you the one who fought his way through, my man? How dare you approach me?
And I think the camera lightning is fortunately turned off. How could that happen? Oh, this lightning is disabled. Go ahead and look at the prefab block here. Yeah, the point light is disabled. Not good. Okay, let's hit play again and see how it is looking with the actual lightning here.
Looks like we have a little vampire here. Are you the one who fought his way through, my man? How dare you approach me?
And there's also an UI error. Don't see the UI right here because it's not rendered by the UI camera. It's quite annoying. So we have to select this UI camera. No, Style Look Manager and tell it to use our UI camera. Let's have to do this with every UI element. Please use our UI cam. Okay. That's not too much of a difference.
Looks like we have a little vampire here. What noble words. I'll write them on your tomb. However, your tombstone.
And we can just see how it's glowing in the dark. I mean, this is awesome. Then you would just strike them. Okay. Yeah. Just a little change to him. Making a huge difference. Let's go ahead and I would like to stare at him for a much longer time here. But unfortunately we have to get going. Make him a new material. Let's create this dragon flame material. We are going to apply this to all of his flame actually. The particles with despawning. Because I don't think there's too many different kinds of flames that he's using. Use the generic bloom shader. And copy the parts of the copy this torch material. Put them inside of here. Apply them to the dragon. Well, we don't see any difference because we just with the values, and we can still play around a little bit. I think the values were just fine. Yeah, I think the colors were just fine, to be honest. Yeah, no, it's not change anything about that. For now, and then let's go through all of his particle systems and make them look better. So we have this burn effect. Let's look at it. Yay, and we're going to put our Dragonflame material inside of here. Now I'm not too sure about this effect, if this is going to look good, because now it's adding up a lot. But let's just go ahead. Apply this to every prefab here. And then test the game. If he's landing, he's going to make a little smoke here, left and right. It's okay. And he's going to spawn in some projectiles. I think it's somewhere here. Dragonfire. There's the... There are two different particle systems. Let's make them use our Dragonflame. You can see that they are immediately looking very, very different. It's also another particle system. Let's stop these two then. To just see what this one does. Just going to make it bloom, I think. Okay. Go ahead and change this material here into soft particle. Now I think this is over the top, but we have to go into the game and then see how it looks. Go to the next dragon effect. This fire artillery. I'm just going to use the same material here. And as I said, in the end we will have to reevaluate what we want to do. Now, with each of these particles, maybe we will have to end up with more materials. Some sparks. It's also not looking too good with this particle. So yeah, we might have to change more things here and there. Go ahead and search for dragon. See if we forgot anything. It says no. No, don't think we have anything forgotten. Let's go ahead and test the scene again, and hope that it now looks much better. Quite nice that now this peaceful music is playing and now this epic dragon is coming
Looks
up.
like we have a little vampire here. What noble words. I'll write them on your tomb. However, your tombstone will be empty. You shall burn for your arrogance, until only ashes remain.
I think it's a little bit more, there's a little bit of overkill in the effects. down here. I think it's not looking bad, but it adds up to lots of fire orders. They're not looking too good right now. But I think they're using all of these effects right, which are currently used. Now normally this sound effect would kill instantly with 300 HP, that's 300 damage. But since I nearly killed it right now, it's not killing it. Nonetheless, even with the cheat that I have currently, I've managed to lose this fight. Now, we see a little bug here with the player. And the player shouldn't have this kind of look, this burn face. That's definitely the bug. So we need to first fix that he's using his actual head. Should be this one.
My servant, the string could have been.
And yeah, so we have to make some changes inside of the dragon fight. The fire odem, it's nice, but it could be better. Let's try to find the fire odem. So this one. I think it's this one. And as we see, if we drag it along, the problem is that the size of the flames is getting bigger. It should get smaller. So let's make a little change here. I'm not sure which one of these particle systems we need to edit. Stop this one, and we have only this particle system enabled. Okay, this is not the trail. This one is the trail. So we need to make sure that this is starting big and then becomes small. So just change this graph here. So now the trail of these fireballs should be looking much better. Yeah, as you can see, it's making it look much better. Now they start out too yellowish. So we need to make some kind of fix there. Yeah, actually, let's go and edit the prefab instead of doing it inside of the scene. So we need to change the color and the size. So for some weird reason, I've decided to make them start big and then become small. Drag this around. Unfortunately, you can't see how the particle system behaves. We have to make sure that in the end we reset the position to 0. So like now, it's not looking too realistic. No, that's not going to work. How do I pause this? No. I got an idea. Let's put the lifetime to 2. And now, okay, okay, this wasn't a good idea. Didn't work out as I wanted. Trying to pause it in the right moment, but it's not working out. No. Oh, come on, pause in the right moment. So you can edit your trail. Because editing it like this is a little bit tedious. I want to see the trail while editing. Every time I try this, it's lagging and then just putting everything inside of here. But you can still see the red parts of the flame here and they're looking ugly. So, red is not the way to go. Try out orange then. How is this going to look? Yeah, and orange seems to be way better. Let's apply only orange. Yeah, I think this looks quite more like a flame now. Okay, now we have to reset this to 0. Let's take a look at this particle system, what it does. It just has some kind of flame attached to it. Okay, nothing too special about it. Okay, try to take a look here. Kind of greenish for some reason, unfortunately. Don't know how that is happening. And I also don't like this flame too much, actually. I think this flame is looking a little bit weird. Overall, that I have no idea why it is looking so weird. Maybe it's the base flame animation here. This texture sheet seems to be a little bit weird. Just we have to just try to work with this a little bit. Okay, I forgot to reset it to 0. Reset the position to 0. So position 0. But there's a point light attached to it that is not at position 0. Put this to 0. Oh, see, I dragged it down a little bit. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. And let's go ahead and delete this from the game. From the scene, not the game. And go and play the scene again. And after that we will take care of the particles that you see on the ground. Now this, what we just saw, should improve the kind of effect that you see.
Looks like we...
Spawneffects.
What?
this scene, the lightning of the flames here, it's nice, but it's a little bit over the top. So if we would turn this down a little bit, it would look better. So let's go ahead and select one of these effects. And there's a lot of them, but since this is in a boss fight where I can control how many effects they are, I'm sure that the processor can handle this. On a bigger level where there's a lot of enemies, you cannot control how many effects there are in the end, because and then each enemy has a very limited amount of resources that you can put to the processor. In this boss fight right here, it's okay that the dragon is spawning in a lot of particle systems, because we have full control about how many it will be in the end, and we can test out in a limited kind of black box. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this fire less bright. So we have to kind of guess where it is first. Must be inside of these folders somewhere. These folders. I think this fire artillery is just looking fine right now. And let's go ahead and there's the effect. So first we could just say let's spawn less effects. Now it has 40 particles at the same time, and we could edit the material, but let's start with editing the amount of particles first. Let's put this to 5. We can now see why it is spawning in that many effects. It's just looking nice like this, and let's want to make them more orange. Now this looks much more like fire. Go in the red zone. No, the red is not going to make them look good. Okay, now we have found the right amount of fire inside of this. There's not much that I want to change. Not much that I want to change. The rest seems to be just fine, to be honest. Let's go ahead and test this again.
Looks...
This is a little bit too bright, so we want to just change the burn effect. Here you can see the burn effect, it's looking nice, but it's just a little bit too much, just a little bit. So for this we need to go into the burn effect and change the material right here. Let's try to find this dragon flame. And just straight up create a variant. Dragon flame burn effect variant, and apply it to the burn effect. So now this uses this new shader. Now we haven't changed anything, and we just want to scale down the strength of this effect. Now unfortunately we don't see this being applied inside of the game immediately, so we have to end this scene, put in put the burn effect inside. And now we can kind of try to emulate what we are seeing in the scene. So I think in the scene it's like this. Now we can try to match the color of this. I think the red part was just fine. We can just decrease the... oh no, that's... oh yes, it's... we can just change this glow so it doesn't overlap too much. So we can try to say how much do we want this to glow. Could also make it glow like this. Now it's glowing red on the outside and yellow in the inside. Yeah, for example. Let's go ahead and try out how this looks now. So again, there will be no kind of easy setup that we can apply here. This will be try and error. Except that I'm very sure that this is not enough if the individual effects are not having any yellow part. They need to have a yellow part. So I think like this would be nice. Excuse me. It still looks a little bit too bright. Let's go ahead and it's still too bright. So let's decrease the brightness again. It's unfortunate. Let's cut the bloom strength and go ahead. Okay. This will be try and error. And after that I will try to fix the head of the player. Now the head of the player, as you could see, is displaying the wrong sprite, and we have to
looks like we have what? How?
Okay, here we go again. It's still very bright on the. We don't add fire. It's still too much. Okay. Didn't expect this to do so little. Next test. There has to be some kind of value that is going to be less enough, so it does not go all over the place, but still enough so that you can see the. I think now it's quite nice. same. I think that it looks... I'm not sure if it's okay. I'm not sure if it's okay. Let's look at this. Here we go again. So when the ground, it's just one, it looks okay. Okay, now I'm going to try to fix the error, the bug, that the player is displaying the wrong kind of head. So if I'm going to select the player here, I can go ahead and open this animation. Animator or animation? I think it's animation. Yeah, it's correct. And normally the idle animation should make sure that he's always using the right head. So let's go ahead and try to find his head sprite. Here it is. So normally this should make sure we have recording enabled. This should make sure that he is always using his normal head. I think that Unity changed the system for this at some point when updating, and now it's using another kind of sprite hash because it was working previously. So now I have to go ahead and just change it inside of every kind of animation where you can see the player from the side. So also go ahead and go to this drag and burn. I think in the end it is going to change the head sprite. No, it's not. Or should it? No, it's not changing the head sprite. So, but now the animation should actually be fixed. Okay, what else could we change with this boss fight here? I think that the explosion effect looks worse right now when the fireballs are hitting the ground. Yeah, this one. I think this is not looking too well. So if I would just put in a different kind of effect right here. Let's see what each individual particle system is doing. What is this doing? This is sparks. And this is also sparks. So the middle part is the cloud that is coming up. I think the cloud is not looking quite right. So let's go ahead. Go ahead. Okay, it's not showing me the particle. Come on, I'm not searching anymore. And create a new variant. Dragon Firebolt Explosion Material. Forget something. And then we need to apply this to this prefab. Got it. Put it into the game. Play it here, because we need to make sure that we see how it's looking in the game. And I think it's not looking too well, because now we just have a big yellow blob inside of the middle of this effect. So let's go ahead and just change these values until they are looking just fine. We want to bloom in the middle. We don't want to bloom over the top. Yeah, now it's just looking better. Also, we also can change the color. Let's see what this does. Oh, this is just the sparks. We don't want to change that though. Here's a color over lifetime. Let's see what it does. Makes it white at the start, and then fade into red, into black. Let's see if we change this into more orange. Yeah, I think this is a really cool end of this effect. Let's see what happens if we change the color here. And maybe more intensity. May decrease the lifetime. Then also make the lifetime really short. Okay, that's too short. Let's put this to V5. What? I think one is definitely too much. I think 0.5 is maybe a good middle ground. I'm starting to lose track of time right here, because I'm editing too much right. And if you're editing too much, after some time, you tend to lose reference in your head. And I have to keep going, because I got the feeling like right now I'm editing stuff, but I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing, and I think, okay, this is the right value, and then I rethink, okay, what was I thinking there? This is when you get too much used to applying these values.
Looks however.
Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, the light again. See if the bug is still there. No, now we have a normal head. That's nice. Now I think that these odems, they are too gloomy in their fireball. So let's try to see what happens, what's happening here. This one, I think we are going in the right direction because these fires here, they look nice, they look realistic, their color scheme is really nice. I like how we have really bright yellow in this part and then just red parts that are just on fire. Really liked it, but I think this part here is too bright. So this is the last part I think we need to change. So I need to find these fireballs. And we have a firebolt, and we see that this is too bright. And it's the core of this effect. I think it's this particle system. This is the trail. This is the main particle system. It's not this one. It's a trail. No, it's not the trail. So what is it? Is it the light? Yeah, there's a light attached to it and it's blooming too much. That's the first part that is wrong. Oh, there's a particle system that I did not see. It's this one. Okay, we need to take a look into this dragon firebolt again and fix this particle system. And don't find it. And because there's a space in here. Okay. So blue light effect. Okay, this is the part that is blooming. Too bright. What do we do with this? So this is the core of the firebolt. And right now it's placing these kind of smoke effects. Let's change it. What do we want to do with this is we want it to bloom, but in a different color. Maybe having these smoke effects are nice. But you don't see them in the game. There's 8 particles. It's just that they are of a huge size. So let's decrease this first. Also put this into the game again. Because it's much easier to edit this in the game. So you can now see how this is going to look. Stop this system and we just want to edit this part. And we see they look way different in the game than they look in the preview. So let's change the purpose of this. I don't like that it's trying to go up and be the spell into these black particles. I don't like that at all. So let's at first change that. And I want this to be in the middle, just to be the middle of the flame, and be the core of this fireball. I think this would be a nice purpose for this. So let's first let's at second change the gravity modifier to 0, and also make the shape into a circle. We still have too much speed. Let's change the speed to a really low value. And this now can be the core of the flame. Like now we just have a randomly wobbling core of the flame. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This will be in the middle of all of these particle systems and hopefully add up well. We have to put it into position 0. I think this has to be here. Also, let's make this more into red or something. Or let's disable it at all. No, this has to be in the back. Can put this into the back. And increase the size again. Make it the right color again. We just want this to glow and fade out. To say, okay, this is the core of the flame. Put it right here. See how it looks? It should be somewhere here. Oh, here. Here should be the middle of the fold. Okay. Let's also decrease its alpha value. Oh no, it's the wrong one. This alpha value. I want to change this alpha value. So it's not that dominant. Apply all these changes. And test it in the game. And I think after the dragon, it's a good time to say let's end the stream. So yeah, unfortunately we did not go through all of the enemies, but this is the enemy that uses most of
Looks like we have
the
little
lighting
them.
system.
What
Yeah,
the
where we
hell?
can crank out the most of just having really light flames. Okay, let's go ahead. The second part that we want to change is the fire on the ground. This one, no, but the other one. And I want to go ahead, just edit this flame material again. Flame burn effect. This to 2. Just try out more values. There's the burn effect. I still think this material here is looking quite off. Let's loop this for editing. Let's not forget to change this later. Because this, I think they maybe changed the color here. It's too weird. Okay, let's also change this to burst. So apply more randomness to this. Make this less greenish. Yes, like that. This is the effect that is played on the character if you're hit by fire. So this is how it is looking. Want to decrease the size of this thing. Oh, it's a cone. Damn cones. So this would be played on the character if he's hit. Yeah, just fine. Let's apply. And now we have this burn hit effect. Show yourself. Oh no, the old one. It's looking different than it is in the game, unfortunately. So it's a little bit hard to guess the correct the values that are going to look good. This is odd. It's not doing anything. Yeah, maybe this is fine. Let's go ahead and play.
looks like... Let me end...
Okay, on the ground. Fire on the ground is still okay. Okay, he didn't kill me. Let's look at that. Let's go ahead and play and see if we can see anything that is I got too close to him. I have to actually pay attention that I don't die too much because and test. So I still have one life left. Whoops. Just one more. Okay, here we go. What could we still improve? Let's see the burn effect one more time. For some reason, I just think that the blooming strength of this is way too much. So let's decrease it even further and half its values. And I'm really surprised that I don't see any changes here at all. Let's keep playing. Because I'm not too happy with the effect in game, and for some reason I don't get a good preview.
What? How?
before I get I'm quite confused why we don't see any changes if we change these values here. Oh, we do. Okay, I think right now we are not applying any color to the burn effect. That's the problem. Now changing the prefab is not going to do anything because we need to change the burn effects in the game. Let them play for a moment. And decreasing the alpha value doesn't seem to do anything. Could also be because of the point light attached to, yeah, the point light. It's because the flames here do have a light attached to them. That is just overriding all the changes that we do to the flame. So let's change the point light actually. Yeah, that's what's happening. Interestingly, the value here is set to 0.5, but in the game it was set to 1. That was why it was so different from what we were thinking it would be. So let's decrease this by a lot. Put this to 0.2, 0.3, and increase the size of the radius. So it's really blooming into the area. For some reason we don't see any shadow from the flame. That is interesting. Let's apply this value. So this radius, let's make it smaller though. Let's apply all these overrides. I also want to see into the script that this is changing the lightning. Yeah, it's changing the lightning. Okay, and this script is doing it so the light inside is increasing its intensity to 1. We don't want this. Let's go ahead and create a private float. Float array, start, intensities. Okay, so sort these booleans, these variables. So public is first, private is after this, and initialize this new float. Now I need to change this into a for loop. Because I want to loop through this array here and initialize each value with the start intensity of each light source. Light intensity. And then make this be 0. So we saved its original value. And at the start of the scene, we want to loop through this array. And increase their intensity. Until it has reached its start intensity. And if it has reached its start intensity, I'm going to make sure that the intensity of the light is not bigger than its start intensity. And stop to make it brighter. Then here we will go through, if we are dimming, we want to make sure, we just want to decrease their values, and if it's smaller than 0, we put it to 0. Okay. Now we should actually be able to control this effect much better. Okay, now Unity seems to make us wait for a long time. Okay, there we go. So enough scripting. Actually, I didn't want to script at all today, but that's not why you want it sometimes. It's just how it works. Now we can, and now you can see we can back the middle of the flame again and try to work with this. I want to make it look like this. Let's see. Yeah, looks quite okay. Let's play the game. And this time it should look quite right. Let's see how it's looking.
What?
The flames on the ground look different. It's killing Drake, but I'm going to kill him with the editor right now, because I don't want to do the fight over and over again. Put this health to 0. And yeah, the flames here. Oh, they don't do damage. That's not good. Let's see why they don't do damage. Don't know why, but on the other side I can now edit the flames while looking at them, and turn down and turn up these values until I'm satisfied. Let's try to make this look just about right. Increase the size again. I don't like how these fires look. So let's increase it. So the darkest fires have some bloom. So the bloom has to have a certain strength, else it's not going to look good. To look into why this is not damage. And I think it's because it changed its Z value. Let's try to look into that. So the burn effect has a Z value of 0. Of minus 500. That's not nice. Also, it has a small hitbox. Okay, let's go ahead and try to play it one more time. Let's kill the dragon immediately. Put yourself to 0. See, we now take damage. No, we don't take damage. That's odd. We did damage. Let's kill him one more time. Seems like I changed something inside of the script so that I don't take damage anymore. Okay, after I fix this bug, it will be time for me to go to bed and end the stream. I'm really not sure what's making or why it is bugged right now. So let's go ahead and see where it tries to kill the player. So there's this damage ticker, which is still going to 1. Yeah. Okay, I don't see why this is not working anymore. Do we have any errors here? No. Maybe it's because I play out of prefab mode, which can sometimes make some weird bugs appear.
Looks like...
Nope. Not taking damage. Am I invulnerable? Invulnerable? For some reason? Don't see that. Oh, I can't see the see into the global variables if I'm invulnerable right now. No. They say I'm not invulnerable. Can still go into debug mode, which often causes crashes, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. No, I'm not invulnerable. So why am I not taking damage? The position is not correct though. this is weird. See the position of each burn effect. They also have a weird position. Should not be in... They should be in Z position 0. But damn it. What could change this? See if the dragon is spawning anything at every Z position. No. So every Z position in here is set to 0. Let's look at the player. He should be at Z0. But I don't think that's a problem right here. It's like something in the burn effect is not working. Okay, one more time. And then I'm going to take a look at these burn effects and try to read out their values. This burn effect here, just here. This should be damaging. It's finished with all the liked effects. Okay, let's read the script again. Taking the transform position, just here. It's going to look how for the distance of the player. Not sure that is doing anything. The only thing that we can do here is try to debug it. So we have to really see debug.log damage ticker is caught. Yeah, nothing else that we can do here. And then detected player, and then damaging player. Let's see which one of these methods are going to be called and which ones are not. Now I don't see any error being displayed, so we can just guess what's going wrong here, because I don't have any idea right now. Okay, that's yeah, that's maybe a sign that I should stop. God damn it. So, should I stop? No. I'm going to fix this error no matter what. Well, it could be that I still have 1 hour of error fixing. A little bit annoying, but if I'm lucky, I can do this in 5 minutes now by debugging. Just have to have a little bit of luck. It looks like I'm not lucky at the moment because Unity crashing, a little bit of just annoying, but yeah, going to take 5 minutes, and I can maybe try to find more room for error. So what is this doing? It has a damage radius and is then trying to detect the player on the right layer. Okay. It's going to be called after the start. It's not going to immediately damage the player. It's going to have a small delay, and then it's going to deal damage. And all we want to find out is why it's not dealing damage right now. Is it not detecting the player? Is it maybe not applying the damage? We need to find the line. Okay, here we go again. Okay, we see in the console, it is called, it's detecting the player, but then this function here says false, meaning it seems that it says the either the player is not named player, which is true. Player is not named player, so why is that? Let's reset this to actually be named player. Okay, then I'm really surprised that this ever worked, actually. Yeah. Maybe it did crash and I changed the name to player, and then it didn't apply all these changes. Now let's apply the camera to the UI camera. The UI to the UI camera, and here we go. Everything should look just fine. Okay, these are also going to use the UI cam. And now it should work just fine. Of the burn effect. God damn it. Now we can remove all of these debugs. See if the shader is going, if we can change the shader to use its old values, because something seemed to be not right. Thanks to the crash, which is worrying me quite a lot. Yeah, the values in here are not correct. That is disgusting, to be honest. So if you put in all this work into the shader here and it crashes and it doesn't apply the values, that's disgusting. And now I'm not able to write burn again. Okay, at least the intensity of the light is correct. And now we have to play the game and just try to hit the right values again, like we had it before. And then we can call it a day. Oh, come on. Really? He doesn't have the shader on his mouth anymore. This is so disgusting. Sorry for my wording like there, but I'm a little bit. Because if you put in all the work and then Unity crashes and you have to do everything again, it's kind of annoying. And it can also cause some errors where you don't know what did you do, what kind of changes did we apply to him. Yeah, just as I said, it's not nice at all to have to do all of this again. This should not have happened. And we have to see what kind of material we have inside of here. Uses the correct material. Yeah, okay, these look fine. These look just fine. Yeah, we just have to try to fix this burn effect and then we can call it a day. And I also have to test if the head of the player is now a bug when the dragon is killing him. We still have the we can have the flame at the mouse position. That's nice. To make these effects here look good by editing their bloom. We don't see any changes yet. They're using the right material. No. Ooh, that's really annoying. So they're not using the right material. But it... What? Okay, maybe I did look at the wrong path there. Okay, let's go again. Okay, this uses the correct material. Okay, let's look at the claims right here. It's a little bit weird that I don't see any changes if I change these graphs. Because it's the explosion material. Whoops! That should explain a lot. So let's reverse what I did there. Okay, what is it doing? And I reversed some stuff, I don't know what I was doing. Okay, to reverse everything that I did inside of here. I reversed more things. Oh no. So now I don't know what I changed. Okay, it seems the player name is still correct. Let's go ahead and play one more time, and then I need to edit the correct material, which is this one. And then we will be completely finished for today.
What noble power.
Okay, now we can try to edit the material. I just was waiting for all of the effects to despawn there and try to make these flames look like they're blooming a little bit in the dark. The edges should look better. this would be the ending scene. Let's save this, and it's time to say thank you for tuning in so far. Okay, this has taken a lot longer than I expected. We haven't finished all the enemies yet, and yet we still saw that there's a lot of things that we have to change and to go through when applying these particles, but the outcome is still very, very strong. I think this boss fight is now looking way better than it did before, and this is actually taking much more time, but tomorrow I will actually go and stream in the middle of the day. As I said, I had to go to a trainer conference today, and it took more time than I predicted. So I'm excited to make the last of the bloom effects and have them all look as good as with Dragon. Unfortunately, we don't have many effects left that we are going to edit, which is a little bit sad, because I really think this is one of the nicer things that you can do on streams, just showing how bloom effects are changing the whole environment. But after that, we can still apply our torches and our brushes and paint the environment with a lot of assets that we still have to do. Right now, a lot of the environments are okay, but look a little bit stale because there's not much going on in the background. We're going to change that. So next time, we are still going to do changes to the shader graphs of shaders of a lot of the effects and apply more bloom effects. Thank you for tuning in, and have a nice day.